The kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yes, it is, folks. It is the most wonderful time of the year because today is day 10 of the 12 Days of Wine Lives. And folks, tonight we have a wonderful, wonderful evening planned for you with one of my very favorite people in the world. I'm so excited to have him pop on. His name is Mr. Lou GUARINO, fitness trainer extraordinaire. I'm not even going to say anything else. I'm just going to bring him up because he's that.
Lou in the house.
So welcome to our beautiful friend, Lou GUARINO.
Hi. Thank you. How are you doing?
We're doing fantastic.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers. Yes.
Cheers.
See, we already like
it. I'm not drinking with you guys today. I apologize.
You're not? Why aren't you drinking?
Because I just came off 12 hours and I got to work in 12 hours.
Okay then. Good call.
Okay, all you need is 8 hours of sleep. We're gonna have you on here for about an hour or two, and that's it. We'll get plenty of time. Don't you worry.
7, no, whatever. Okay, guys. So Lou is our magical friend. Lou, where are you from? Tell us a little bit about yourself, actually. I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
All right. So, born and raised in New York. Got married to an Australian who happens to be dual citizen of Canada, to kind of bypass papers in the States. And because I work online, it just made sense for us to come to Toronto. Well, actually, we were kind of trying to figure out which city in Canada we wanted to go to, because neither of us have been to Canada. Well, I think I've been here once. She had been here once. So it was obviously like Vancouver. It would have been Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal. We had already cut out Edmonton and all those places at that time. And I was like, Vancouver I wasn't crazy about, have to be honest. It was beautiful to visit, but I was like, I would not live there.
Yeah.
So it really came down to Toronto and Montreal. And I had never been to Montreal, and in hindsight, that probably would have been my first. But I'm happy in Toronto. We're happy in Toronto, and it's a great city. So now we live here.
Yeah.
I'm a resident, so now I'm Canadian.
I know. I'm so excited.
Until I get my citizenship in like 2 years.
He's crossed over, folks.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to the States on Friday, and I'm like, I don't even want to go. I just want to stay in Canada. I love Canada too much.
Aw, awesome.
But I won't get into the political. I won't. It might take me a few of these before we get political, but I won't talk politics right now. But I love Canada way more.
Oh, perfect. Well, you're very welcome, my friend.
Yes.
And we're sorry. No, I'm just kidding.
I've been practicing the national anthem. All I know is "Oh Canada, my home and native land," and that's all I know.
We'll get you. By the time Canada comes around, we'll have you figured out there, buddy. Don't you?
Oh my God, yes. By the time Canada Day comes around, I'm literally going to be singing that song with I have my laptop's here. I got a Canadian flag, like a huge Canadian flag draped over our TV right now.
I love it.
Hanging up on the wall. I don't even have an American flag.
You're more patriotic than we are.
Yeah. Cheers.
Listen.
Cheers to Canadians.
Cheers to Canadians. Cheers to having healthcare for the first time in like years.
That is a beautiful thing, eh? Like, that is beautiful.
Yes.
Wait, we can't get political just yet. I still have a little bit more before I get there.
What are you drinking, Lou? What are you drinking today?
So I'm drinking Beauvoir 12 years single Scotch with single malt Scotch whiskey.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Becs, you're drinking what? Tea? Coffee? What's happening?
I'm drinking I forget. It's orange mandarin herbal tea. I'm very exciting.
Fancy. I like it. I'm back on the sangria train, guys.
I think she has a problem with sangria.
I do. I don't know what it is. I feel like for the last, I haven't been drinking much wine lately. I've been drinking sangria.
By the way, I'm actually sharing this right now to all my pages. I want everybody to see this.
Beautiful.
This is hilarious.
Okay, so welcome
to the fun side, Lou.
Oh.
This is awesome. Like, I'm legit loving this right now. This is absolutely fantastic. I like, all right, Bex, I'm glad that I've met you, but this is something like I can just see Paulette doing. So like the mere fact that we're actually doing it right now, like, so Paulette and I, we coached together. We were working together for about a year, right? At least a little more than that. And then, Jerry came on, but Paulette and I were together, and like Paulette and I, we were like two peas in a pod. Like, that's like, she's a homegirl, right? So like, we literally would just talk about, like, it wasn't even like crazy stuff. Like, we just had fun in our conversations. So I can totally see just this whole thing happening. And of course, it's Paulette doing it. Like, it just,
it's so sweet.
I truly enjoy this. This is actually really cool.
Okay,
yeah,
well,
it's
actually,
like the best. Just saying.
Stop it. I will actually segue that by saying, that brings me kind of into my first topic. So one of the really important parts about finding a trainer, because I feel like you really need to find somebody who understands how you're functioning up here, because not everybody is the same, right? And to be honest, for me with Lou, where we kind of hit it off right off the bat is that Lou understands that everything starts with mindset. It doesn't matter how strong you are. It doesn't matter what you do. If you don't have this right, nothing is going to work. And Lou totally gets that. So maybe can you touch on that a little bit, Lou? Like like your experience with that.
All right. Man, where do I begin?
That's a broad question.
I know, right?
Well, yeah, because I mean, I think of it like this. Like, well, first off, let me start off like from how I started, right? Yeah. So I've been really kind of, even like me personally, shifting how I approach conversation about fitness and how I approach the ideas of what it is that I do, what I want to do, how can I help people, because to call a spade right now and everything is basically, one, I've never struggled with my weight personally. But I know what, from working with people, I've learned to empathize and understand. And I can see that the struggle essentially is the same, in the sense of where I was a skinny kid trying to put on muscle and trying to look better, feel better, move better, get stronger. The other side of that spectrum, of the same line, the same spectrum, was the people who were overweight, who wanted to lose the weight, who wanted to get stronger and leaner and build a muscle and do the same exact things, but from the opposite end. And that's where we met. So that's where we found the common ground. And from there, it's more or less like, okay, you want to change? Sure. You have every right to do so, right? Like I'm the person that believes that, like, look, like, sure, love yourself for who you are, but if you want to be better, then you have every right to do so. Like nobody should tell you, like, no, you can't do this because of this, right? Like the biggest thing is that I come across is, like chasing, and I would call them, sure, I'll call them vanity goals, because, you're not an athlete, you're not trying to be the next Lisa Leslie or LeBron James, you're not in the NFL, you're not a soccer player, you're not Mia Hamm, you're none of these people, right? Like you're a person that, wants to, sure, maybe change their body image, change the way they look, and you want to do it in a healthy way, not the yo-yo dieting, not the this, not the starvation, not the, whatever. So but in order for you to do that, like, the mechanics are easy. Sure, I can write you a program, the Midas freaking touch of programs, and I can set your calories and your protein and yada 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 to make sure that you're in a calorie deficit, because that's what matters, not the specific diet that you're on. But I can do all the mechanical stuff. But in order for you to act, like, if you're not going to follow any of that, if you're not going to be consistent with that, if you're not going to go do it because that is your goal, regardless of how you feel, you're not going to change. So it doesn't matter how great that program is. It doesn't matter who wrote it. It doesn't matter if it was me or whoever. If you paid $1 million for a program, if you're not going to follow it, that has everything to do with this, not with the program itself. So in order for you to change, in order for you to want to actually get better, in order for you to change your body, change the way you look at it, change the way you look at anything around you, you've got to change up here first. And that's like the biggest thing that I personally learned since I really started coaching in 2012, because, I can, anybody can squat, anybody can bench press, sure. But what are you really doing to change your life? And that's really starting here before all this changes. Right?
Totally.
Yeah. I think that's so powerful. Just like the way that, like, we are the meanest people to ourselves.
Absolutely.
So, like, not having that instant gratification of like, I just worked out at the gym, but I don't see any results. I'm so fat. I'm so ugly. I'm too skinny. I'm too this. I'm too that, like whatever it is. And the more that we keep saying all those I ams, like those affirmations in a negative way, we're not going to improve. But if we start saying, I am skinny, I am fit, I'm healthy, my heart is healthy, all of those like I am affirmations, sort of playing off what you're saying, I feel like just changing the way we speak to ourselves, everything else plays into that role, and then we become happier with ourselves.
Absolutely. So I look at it like this. I say, actually, I made a little video earlier today about this, and like, happiness is something that you genuinely like. Listen, I'm 31. Right? I haven't lived the longest life. I haven't had the hardest of lives. Like, I understand my privilege. I understand my perspective. I get it. So I'm not naive to these type of things. But I do understand that, like, sure, I might not have had some of the bigger struggles that a lot of other people have had, but I understand that happiness is essentially a choice. And no matter who you are, you can, whether you're rich and you got everything on the freaking planet, maybe you don't have family, you're probably gonna be unhappy, right? Like, you could be incredibly poor material, with material, have a great family, but you're still going to be unhappy because you don't have, like, it's what you look at, that, and it's what you give power to. And if you determine that these negative things, or these things that you deem are kind of lower than where you're at, to take away from the happiness, then sure, you're not going to be happy. So, like, I say, like, look, if you want to change the way you look, change the way you approach fitness, because I believe that everybody, I don't care who you are, call me dogmatic at this point, I will say that everybody needs to strength train, everybody needs to start managing their nutrition. Because, to be fair, like, we can throw some real statistics out there. 2018, we are getting large. Like, the population as a whole, especially in that, like, I have the stats from the United States because I just looked them up recently. 75% of men are considered overweight or obese. 60% of women are considered overweight, obese. And, we have all these dietary programs and, follow this diet, follow that diet, do this work. Listen, again, we have all that at our disposal, but then why is everything getting worse when everything should be coming down? And that's an issue. And that it's a matter of, it's so multifactorial. It is a matter of analysis paralysis, with having a ton of stuff out there and not knowing where to go, a ton of conflicting information. But then, of course, there's the mindset aspect of it. There's the self-worth aspect of it. Am I worthy enough to change? Am I good enough to change? If I do change, will I be better enough then? And a lot of people are scared because, to be fair, one of the biggest fears I've actually had personally, and Paulette, you wouldn't know this, but not a lot of people do, but I'll say it, like, one of the biggest fears that I had, and I still have to this moment, is the imposter syndrome, or like kind of this complex where I know I'm that good, I know I'm that great, but am I really, because I'm not mentioned in with the names of this person or that person, or maybe I don't look like this person or that person, right? Like, so it makes you feel like, am I really that good? Am I that worthy? And then you start to second guess yourself. You start to question yourself. You start to say like, wow, am I really there? Like, is that really possible for me? And that's been one of my biggest struggles lately. And that's really what's been forcing me, quite honestly, to make more of these videos and learning all these different things, because I'm putting myself out there because I know I'm there. I know I'm there. Now it's not admitting my face in front of people like that, right? So God.
Sorry.
No, please.
I just want to tell everybody that's watching, if you haven't heard about Lou before, you can look him up on Facebook. What's your handle, Lou GUARINO?
So it's my personal one is actually what I shared. So they might see it actually, but my Insta, I mean, it's actually the same thing. It's LOUIS GUARINO. Both of them will pop up. Just one is of me in a green hat, and then one of these with no hat, but they're both shirtless. So
and we'll put it up in the link of the live. But for those of you that are watching and whoever watches the replay, you guys need to start following Lou. He is not only like jam-packed full of knowledge, he's also hilarious and very entertaining. And lately,
video, just saying.
Huh? I'm sorry?
Your video?
Which one?
Your video running in front of the tree.
Oh, your Grinch one.
Oh, the Grinch one. All right, I guess I can show you. Hold on.
On Facebook, and it was like an instant, like the first thing I saw was that video, and I was like, oh my God.
So there's the infamous tree. Oh, then there's the infamous Canadian flag behind it that I was telling you about. But, so long story short, with that, how that video even came about was I was working technically. I was actually sitting right over here doing work. I'm at my kitchen counter right now, and I was doing check-ins, and I was just like, I don't feel like doing anymore right now. So then I was like, I have the I don't want to say her name because she'll start like, hello, but I have one of those little names, the little home things, the names and whatever.
Like
so the Amazon one, but I don't want to say her name.
Yeah.
But I said play Christmas music, and she played it, and the first song was The Grinch. I'm like, that's what I was saying. I'm like, you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. So I started doing this, right? And I'm like, man, I think it was like, must have been about 3:30, 4 o'clock. It was getting really like dark out. The Christmas lights are on. I'm like, and I don't know what prompted this. I just do like nutsy things like this. And I was just like, you know what? Whatever. So I just decided to prop my phone.
Now you guys know why Lou and I get along.
We just do like the weirdest things. I'm like, who thinks of something like that? Like, why? But
it was pretty much like messaging Paulette being like, oh my God, I think he's amazing.
It was so funny though, because like I posted the phone up and I'm like, this is gonna look really stupid. But then when I actually like looked at it, I was like, before I posted anywhere, I'm like, all right, this is stupid. I'm not gonna post it. But I looked at it and I just started dying. Like I was like, this is hilarious.
Well, this is the thing too, is that like when you are, am I frozen again? Jesus.
We can hear you.
Okay, sorry. So this is the thing too, though, is that when you're in the type of business that you're in, people want to get to know you, right?
Yeah.
And that is what is going to, like, that relationship that you have with your trainer, like a client trainer, it turns into something magical. Like I haven't been
Absolutely.
with Lou for, I don't know, like a couple years now, but we still chat.
Yes, and I already have my second Christmas card. I'm watching her kids grow up, and like we have it. Like you guys are all the way in freaking Alberta, and here I am in Ontario, and I'm like, but that's the relationship we built, because the fact is that it does not matter. Like I don't have any new information under the sun. Like there's no new information under the sun. I don't know anything new. In fact, I'm still trying to gain what's out there. right? Like, I don't know anything. But what I do know is, well, I know enough. Again, going back to the mechanics, I know more than enough when it comes to the mechanics of how to do this. But what gets people to change is communication. It's that relationship. It's understanding that, like, you're an individual. You're not a number. Like, for instance, when it came, and I'm not throwing this out there like, when I know that I'm not the most least expensive coach out there. I know I'm not. And I don't want to be, because I pride myself on being the best. And like, I like to say, I'm like the Louis V of fitness. Like, when you come to me, you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
You're getting a coach who knows what he's talking about. You know that he cares about you, and that, like, you have to go through a process to be coached by me, because I'm not in it necessarily. I mean, yeah, sure, I have bills to pay, I got rent to pay, I got to keep the roof over the head. We all got that, right? But the fact is that, like, a couple things. One, the biggest commodity that most people don't want to part with, or they don't find value in is, or I mean, not that they don't find value, but one of the biggest things that people have a hard time doing is they like to spend money, but they don't like to be sold to, right? So I'm not here to sell to you. Listen, I know what I can do to help you. Are you willing to invest in yourself? If you're not, then by all means, go grab your lattes and go grab your bottles of wine per night. Because trust me, I know people that do that. And then they're wondering why they've let their health deteriorate, and why they can't do this, and why they can't do that, and why they feel weak, and why they're getting sick all the time. Because you haven't taken your health seriously. So listen, I get it, but that's the thing. If I was after people's money, sure, I'd be super cheap and I'd be giving you cookie cutter programs. But no, Paulette will be the first to tell you. Literally, we can email, Facebook message, video call, because I care. And that's how you get people. That's how Paulette and I built our relationship, because I care and because we're able to communicate. And and you know what, like, I don't think I've ever been a jerk to you, but because I'm human. I'm sure I've been snappy at a client before, and recently it happened, and I apologized to her. I was like, look, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to come off that way. And she's like, no. I was like, I really hope you're not upset with me. She's like, no, you apologize. It's really okay. Like, I'm not upset about it anymore. I'm like, because that's the thing. Like, we're still human beings. We still have interactions, and that goes along with being human. But that's what makes the coach-client relationship as well. It's being authentic with each other. It's being real with each other, and that's huge. And that's what's missing in a lot of this fitness stuff, because you go on Instagram, you see the person's, and I'm guilty of it, but sure, you see the people with the Photoshop photos. You see them doing some crazy workouts that really they didn't do. It just looks cool for the gram and for Facebook. And, that's why when with all this said, with all that there, it's like, it's a lot of fluff. It's just, it doesn't matter. It's all smoke and mirrors. What really gets the client to change is that communication. Is, like, am I doing my duty as a coach to help my client get to where they want to be? If I'm not, then one, they're wasting their money, but two, like, I'm really doing them a disservice. And quite honestly, I value everything.
Yeah, and lots of times people are like, you're getting a coach because you need that help. You need that accountability. And like,
absolutely,
you were never mean to me, but you did call me on my bullshit quite often. Which
that's the thing.
That's what we did. Right?
Because that's the thing. For number one, why would you pay me to be an enabler for shitty choices?
Exactly.
Why would you do that? You wouldn't. At least I would hope you wouldn't, right? I mean, hey, some people have that kind of money, and I'm like, okay, like, you want to throw it away, by all means. My rent is paid. I'm happy, but not really, because I'm not able to do my job.
Yeah.
Right. Like, there's nothing more frustrating than when check-ins come in. Like, so Rebecca, I'll tell you how this all works.
Okay.
When Paula and I, let's say we're coaching. Actually, I think some things might have changed, Paulette, since you left. Did you ever use the client portal or no?
Like the Google Doc?
I actually have I have a client portal, which is clients.lewisguarino.com. Did you ever sign into one of those? So see? So again, I'm finding things to make my servicing better for my clients. So before, Paulette, we would, it was, check-ins. Oh yeah, that's right. It was check-ins via Google. You had the Google Sheets. So programs, I don't
I had to send video.
Yeah, had to send videos of her exercises. Like I had to critique it. I needed to know that she was doing everything well, because like, what if, all right, something as trivial as a push-up. If I just assume she knew how to do a push-up, what happens if she hurts herself? Right? Like, and then she's out for 8 weeks because she hurt her shoulder. Like, it might not be my fault because I wasn't there like physically manipulating her to get into that position, but it's kind of my fault for having the assumption that she knew what to do. Right? So I say, send me your videos. Like, I'm very, 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 very stern about that stuff. Like, I want to know that you are doing what you need to do. So, but now, like, for instance, Paulette, with our check-ins now, we have a client portal, so people can log in it's a web-based app right now. They're actually working on a actual phone app. Actually, a few of the clients are testing it, are using betas right now. But it's a web-based app primarily where it syncs with MyFitnessPal and in My Macros Plus. It syncs with Fitbit. When you do your check-ins, you'll hit the button. It says sync. It'll port over all your macros, your protein, carbs, and fat, and your calories, your sodium, your fiber, and it'll also bring in your entire week's worth of eating. So I will see on Thursday. I'll see how your meals were broken down. I'll see exactly how you tracked it. So I'll know if you overate. I'll know if you took, I will literally. So for instance, before matter of fact, I don't want to get on a tangent. I'll tell you what I did for a client recently. But it'll bring, so like, that's only part one of that, the nutrition, right? And then of course it'll kind of color code it to tell you that like you're really close or you're perfect or you're too far away from your targets. And then you go to the next page, which is a bunch of questions. How are you lifting this past week? How's your nutrition past week? Behavior goals. I actually just implemented this one question, going back to something we were talking about earlier about yourself, your worthiness, so to speak. But I was literally like, name or give me one reason why you love yourself. And it's a required question, so you have to fill it out. You can't skip it. So I want people to realize, I want people to recite something even if it's the littlest of things. I'm patient. Great. I'm glad you love that about yourself. Remind yourself why you love yourself. Yeah. Right. Remind yourself. So you have all these questions, and then of course you go to the next page, which will be measurements and weights. And again, if you can either enter them manually because I still want daily weights. Of course, I want to see the fluctuations and whatnot. That's something we can talk about a little bit later. So why I do that? But you enter your weights in, or if you enter them in MyFitnessPal, when you port over your macros, it'll also port over the weight and the sleep. So I don't know how much, like if you say that you've slept 8 hours instead of you entering it manually, you might put it in the app. It ports everything, all the data over that I need, right? It'll tell me how much you slept. I track your steps. So like if I see that you're only so if you track your steps with Fitbit, and you're only doing 6,000 steps, I'll probably tell you to try to get up to 8,000, 10,000, and it'll tell me what your steps are like every day if you're tracking that. And then, of course, your photos front, back, side. It's super thorough. It's like insanely thorough because I don't mess around. We have fun. Yeah. I love what I do, but I don't mess around. Because, again, at the end of the day, no matter how much fun you have, you're still paying. You're still spending your hard-earned money. Yeah, and paying me to help you to help you achieve a result. So not only is it, again, the mechanics, but it's also the mindset. It's also the conversation. It's also the relationship. It's also how do we work together as a unit? We're a team to move forward towards that essentially the same goal. Yeah. Yeah. So that's
sure. Can we take a break and just cheers for that?
Yeah.
Here's to accountability and common goals.
Yes. Cheers.
Love it.
This might be a tricky question. It might be an easy question. I don't know. So people in their comfort zones, like that's like everyone loves being in their comfort zone, because when you start to become uncomfortable, you're uncomfortable and things are changing and nobody likes change and all that jazz. So when people start hitting their goals, sometimes I know it can feel uncomfortable. It's like you're in this new body and you start to feel uncomfortable. How do you go about it as a coach to like sort of guide somebody in being comfortable? Like what's sort of the, is there like a technique? Is it something that you just, discussions you have with your clients? Is there, is it just clearly up to that person to become, start to be comfortable in their, you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm asking?
No,
like it's
absolutely. And that's actually that's a great question. Because, excuse me, I'll always start off with myself, because I don't want to assume everybody else's position on this. So I'll start with myself and how I've changed, and then I'll tell you experiences working with other people. If, for instance, myself, again, starting off from like the skinny kid growing up, and then, all right, I'll say I'm married. So anybody watching this, you don't have to worry about, I'm not trying to, pick anybody up on your show. But what I will say is that the older I got, the more I started changing my body, the more attractive I got. Sure. And I took care of myself again, and it showed physically. And I always tell people that your outward appearance most of the time is usually in direct relation as to how you feel about yourself and what you're doing for yourself. Now, there are people who have medical conditions, where it's metabolic, they have some type of disease or what have you, or they're on medications, and I get that. But we're talking anomalies. We're not talking about the average. And the average of people, they're just, they're not taking care of themselves the way that they should, right? At least not to the best of their abilities. And again, that's statistics that we're talking about. We're not talking about my own experience or me just shaming people. I need to put that out there because it's 2018. I got to make sure I say that. But the fact is that, when I started changing personally, I don't want to say it, for me, it was uncomfortable. It was just weird. Maybe weird isn't uncomfortable. It's just another word for it. But it was weird, sure, because I'm like, I remember being in high school and like, most girls that I liked did not like me then. Mike Jones, remember that song from back in the day, Paulette? We have a similar music taste. But do you remember that song? He was like, back then they didn't want me, now hot, they all on me. Like, that was one of those songs, like, when I was in high school, I was like, man, that's so true. College, it came up, I'm like, man, like, they didn't want me back then. All of a sudden, I get a little muscle and I'm attractive. Like, but that's what it was. And that's what's happening to some of my clients now, even. For instance, one of my clients, she is, I think everybody has some type of mental, not to say issue, but they overthink things, or maybe they are clinically depressed or clinically whatever. Like I'm the first one to be I talk about mental health a lot, because I have anxiety. I've had depression before. I take Lexapro. Like I've talked about that before with my own audience, so to speak. But one of my clients, she suffered from some pretty severe depression, anxiety. And I mean, who knows? I'm sure I don't have the entire story. It's not up to me really, but let's just say that now that she's been working with me, and we've been working together on like getting the food in order and getting to the gym just like 2 or 3 times a week, and again, we have conversations. Like we actually have some. Like she's the one person I can talk to about sneakers. Like out of all my clients, her and I can talk about sneakers of all things. So like that was our common ground, right? And like we, just building that relationship and that friendship. And, she's lost a substantial amount of inches and a decent amount of weight. And, she's getting, and she's getting, compliments from people. Oh, you're looking this, you're looking that. What are you doing? And she's like, I don't know how to handle it. It's weird. Because she's getting noticed. Same thing happened with like 2 other clients. One of them, through on with, we went through, we dieted down, then we started throwing on some muscle. So they require different goals, right? Nutritional goals, like in order for you to lose body fat, you need to be in a deficit, calorie deficit, and obviously to put on size and put on weight, you need to be in a surplus. So we dieted her down. Then we started putting some muscle back onto her. She was at a Christmas party about 2 weeks ago. She was, and we FaceTime every week, and she's like, all these guys are like, and she's married too, by the way, and she's like one of the guys, so to speak, in her profession. And she's like, but man, they were just like, man, you got, your arms are incredible. Like, you got some guns on you, this and that. So she's like, I didn't know how to handle it. Like, it was just a lot. And I'm like, I get it. And I think and this, Rebecca, going back to the very first question, went on a big roundabout, was to answer it is really like, that's the nature of the beast. Like, there's really no way around it. Like, it's
gonna own it.
Yeah, it is about owning it. It's because this is not that you're, and I don't think that any of my clients are being objectified. Like, there's a difference between being objectified as, and again, something I'm learning, right? Like, I'm a male. I'm a heterosexual male. Like, if I see an attractive woman, I was looking at my own wife, whatever, like, damn, you look good. Like, but that is technically objectification. I get it. Like, I understand now, right? Yeah. But I don't think they're looking at my clients like, oh my God, you look banging. I just think they notice the work, and I think it's hard to decipher that. Really, at the end of the day, like, are you objectifying me? Are you really like encouraging of my results? And it may be a mix of both. But again, it's still an experience that they haven't had before. So you're still trying to understand it.
Yeah, and it's like, if you're not used to hearing it, it's kind of like, oh.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Like, Paulette, not for nothing. I remember you told me like once or twice, like when we were training back in the day.
Yeah,
it happened to you. Yeah. So like, I don't think it's necessarily like, again, people are, and that's the one thing. I think that's something huge we need to talk about. Like, it's kind of like that unspoken thing, I guess. Because again, so Rebecca, I deal with people. I don't deal with like soccer players, athletes, CrossFitters. I don't program or coach powerlifters. Like, I don't do that. Like, I'm a bodybuilder at heart, natural. So that's why I don't look ginormous. But I'm a bodybuilder by heart, but I also know the mechanics of fat loss, like body composition changes. So I deal with people who want to change their body, right? And do so in a healthy way, not the yo-yo diets, not all this other stuff that you probably have heard of, maybe have done.
It's more of a lifestyle change as opposed to like, instead of diets, you're changing your lifestyle.
Exactly. We focus on the bigger picture, like getting stronger. Like, because, sure, looking great now is fantastic, but when you're 60, 70 years old, strength is the first thing to go. And if you don't want help getting off the freaking toilet at that age, you better start strength training now and staying strong. Like,
I say it to my parents all the time.
Yeah.
Tell them that all the time. I'm like, you guys need to start doing your squats.
Mm-hmm. Even some air squats, some body squats, having muscular control. But if you're not doing these things at this age now and focusing, that's why I'm so stern and so dogmatic. I don't even care. But like, I will be that way because I understand what strength training does. But then you also have the people that are like, I want to be toned. I want this. I want that. And I'm like, okay, these are all within the realm of possibility, but you have to understand there's a process.
Yeah.
And it's not going to happen overnight. And it's going to happen, like, you're not going to be perfect. There's no black and white mentality when it comes to fitness, because fitness is just a matter of, fitness literally is it's a genre, but it's just a blanketed term, a blanketed statement, it's a mass generalization, because a person who's a powerlifter's fitness is going to be different than a bodybuilder's fitness. It's different than LeBron James' fitness, different than high school level fitness. Like, it's just a matter of being fit for your purpose. What are you trying to accomplish in this bodily realm of being better than before, Like where is your starting point? Where's your point A, and where are you trying to go? And that's how you determine what you do next.
Yeah.
Because you can't, if you're at point A and you're trying to get to point B, don't do everything that's going to get you to point D. That makes no freaking sense. You got to pick something and go with it. A person who chase two rabbits, get none, something like that. What are all these different phrases where you go after all these different things and you get absolutely zero? That's what a lot of people do with fitness. They don't just pick one thing. Like, there are definitely crossovers for sure. You get stronger with your deadlift, let's say as a power lifter. You're probably, if you're not terribly heavy, you're probably going to have some really good explosive power. You might be able to jump really high. Like for me, example, I'm very lean. I'm very small. I can deadlift a lot. I used to deadlift a lot more than I do now. That had carry over to I was able to dunk at one point. I can't dunk anymore. I can't even touch the rim. But because I built up enough strength and explosive power through powerlifting or powerlifting style training in conjunction with my normal bodybuilding stuff, I was able to do that. It carried over. There was a crossover. But I wasn't specifically trying to jump higher. I wasn't specifically trying to be a powerlifter. I just wanted to get stronger while I was dropping body fat or while I was putting on muscle. And that's really all I was doing.
Yeah.
Right? So that's how I look at it. I just think that people can, if you're trying to change and you're really trying to accomplish something big or really, really good, people compliment you. Just say thank you and keep on doing your thing, because if they notice, then you're doing something right. And I think at the end of the day, nobody wants to be wrong. So if people are being acknowledged for doing things that are right, then keep going.
And you know what? I think that's so powerful. Just like saying, let's just cheers to thank you.
Oh,
yeah.
Say thank you.
Cheers,
because I feel like so many times when you say thank you to someone, there's always an answer. When you compliment someone, they say thank you. Yeah, but I did blah, 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 or I was late, or, oh, I just threw it on. They make an excuse instead of just accepting.
I do that now. I still do it.
And Paulette called me on mine probably like 6 or 7 months ago. She's like, you're a yeah butter. And I was like, pardon? She's like, you yeah but everything.
Yeah.
And I have caught myself, and I don't think I do it very much anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not even aware.
And that's the thing, like, it's very easy to dumb yourself down. And that's what a lot of people do when they shouldn't.
Instead of owning the greatness that's in each
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Because I feel like while everybody's trying to compare themselves to each other and they're trying to make themselves nuts, like, it's this like pseudo humbleness that people have. And it's just such a pain in the ass. And I do it too myself. I get it. Like, man, you look great. Or man, like you look like you're putting on muscle. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm just doing this, blah, blah, blah. But then it's really like, dude, just shut up and just take the compliment. Right? Yeah. Because what I do is, instead of saying, like what Rebecca's saying is, instead of just saying thank you, right? Instead of saying like, thank you, I'm thank you for appreciating that, or thank you for noticing. It's like, thank you, but I know I can do better. Or thank you, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you see, or like it's like you're almost trying to create your own picture.
But my jeans are still tight.
Yeah. It's like you're almost trying to you're creating your own pity party.
Well, not just that, but you're actually sucking the joy from the person who is trying to give you a compliment.
Yeah.
Right?
You're taking that from them. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. Like, imagine if like, it's almost like, think about it this way. If I was like, Paulette, you have been crushing your training lately. And then she hits me with, not saying you did do this, but let's just hypothetical. Let me say something like, yeah, but the kids have been, they've been really just in rare form, and Jerry, he's been working, and like, he wants to go to the gym, and I'm just trying to get there whenever I can, and you know, everybody else is going in front of me. I'm like, Paulette, you're doing really well though. Like you're still managing even in your situation. I know, but if I say, Paulette, why are you so inconsistent? Why are you not taking this seriously? I know. That's what it seems like. It's like you agree with the negative, but you're not appreciating the positive that I'm giving you, because I recognize the positive in a situation that's not necessarily the most positive, so to speak.
It's because when people are humble, right? Like when you're and Lou, you're like this too. Like when you're humbled, you have a hard time taking a compliment because you don't want it to look like. And my girlfriend Janine, I'm calling you out right now. She is like this too. You feel like if you accept that compliment without saying something, that you are saying that you're better than someone else.
Okay. Yes and no. And I say that because, to be fair, I was kind of I know what it's like to be a selfish prick. Honestly, like I'm gonna call a spade a spade. Like I know what it's like to be. I don't say that I boasted about things, but like I knew that I was like I joked around about something earlier. It might have been like 2 days ago. I was saying this along the lines of like everything comes easy for me. On Saturday I made a chocolate sponge cake for the first time ever in my life, and it came out really damn good. And I was like, just like everything else in my life, this came natural. And then like a friend of mine was like, "You're so humble." I was like, "I know."
You and Jerry, Jesus.
Yeah, but the thing is like I get it. Like I know what I used to be like, so now like I'm kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum of like, yeah, I know, to like, thanks. And like I'm trying to find that middle ground where I'm like, thank you, and not let it get to my head.
Yeah.
Right? Because like, again, this goes back to, this is so like ingrained in like my human behavior, so to speak, but like it's so like, because I wasn't noticed when I was younger. This is like my childhood traumas coming up right now, but it's because I wasn't noticed when I was younger, right? And I didn't know, like I wasn't looked at a certain way, or I wasn't seen as being great in something at a young age. So like now that I'm older, and again, I look a certain way, I know the things that I know, I train well, I know I can follow directions when it comes to baking and make a great cake. It's like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Let me be. You know what I mean? And like it's that's kind of where it is right now. Like that's kind of where I'm at. So like I'm trying to like learn to be great. Thank you. And just move on with my day. Just not think about it so much.
I feel like we're having a therapy session right now.
I know, this is fabulous.
I know. I feel like if we all like sat in a room together, which is technically what we're doing right now, but like we could probably talk for like hours just about life.
Without a doubt. Because to be fair, like I think that those are the best kind of conversations.
Absolutely.
I think that when you're real with each other, like who wouldn't want that conversation? Yeah.
I know. I always talk you up to everybody because I'm like, he's such a good dude and he's so legit, like real, and just, I don't know. I just love you, Lou. So I just wanted to share you.
Paulette was talking, when she's like, we need to have Lou on one. And I was like, okay. And she's walking you up. I'm like, okay.
I hope I did not disappoint.
There's no disappointment though. There was no, like, I literally, like, we friended on Facebook and I was like, oh my God, she's not joking. None of this is like a lie or like exaggerated. Like,
I just hope that like, because in all my messiness, like, I just hope that I can be a legit human being and show people that like, I'm just as flawed as a lot of other people in this world, and I don't got my shit together the way that it's kind of like, people, I feel like, have this, like I say this without sounding like an asshole. I just feel like, there's so many people out there with all the things that's going on in the world right now. And like, trust me, I see it all, and like I'm trying to digest it because again, it's not my experience, and I think that I talk to my friends right now in Toronto. Like I have a very diverse group of friends in Toronto, and we talk a lot, and we talk about, we'll get to arguments, like from PC culture to, what's acceptable as jokes, what's acceptable as this, what's that. I'm like, and sometimes we get to arguments about this whole thing, and I'm just like, look, like my experience in life is coming from this perspective, and I'm trying to understand others' perspectives, right? And fitness just happens to be an avenue that I'm well versed in. So like, fitness is a way for me to get into, is a way for me to get into this sphere, and then I can see what other people are about, kind of outside of fitness, but within that same sphere, or like my immediate gravitational pull, so to speak, and like really see what other people are going through and what they're about, but then again, there's a lot of people, who just are just super condemning and just super assholes, and I'm just like,
But we're not those people.
No, not at all. Not at all. But like one of the biggest things I face is I'm like, people who are the biggest condemners are usually the people with most skeletons in their closets, and I watch, and I observe, and I love looking. Like I genuinely love it.
Yeah,
I think something too that's neat too, like when you say like some of them are like the biggest assholes out there. When we look at like people's past, like how you brought up like your past and how things used to be, and then you made those changes, that it's so important for people to realize that like regardless of what your past was, maybe you were that kid, maybe you were the big kid, maybe you were the jerk, maybe you were the bully. Everybody has that opportunity to change. Absolutely. And become a new version of yourself, so you're not always stuck with that version of you in the past.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think funny.
That's Here's a crazy quote. This is not meant for disrespect in any way, shape, or form, because I totally understand. But I have to say it because it's kind of funny. There's kind of a little bit of humor in it, but it's a true statement. But I remember somebody made a post about somebody. Again, it's somebody talking about somebody else. And this one quote, I'm gonna get to it, but this one quote really just sat in my stomach, and I was thinking about this for I don't know why, but I forgot the context of like who the person was or why they were talking about this. But the quote of the other person, of this like commenter in the thread or the forum, was, in 2018, a person can change it. A person can change their gender, but they can't evolve as a person. And I'm just like, holy shit. Because, and I thought about that, and like, listen, again, live your truths, like, by all means. That's not a disrespect in any way, shape, or form, but like, what I mean by, I think what that quote meant to me was like, it's true. It really is what you're saying. It's people have the ability to evolve, but it's like the court of public opinion in a lot of cases and a lot of things. It's sure, change all these other things, but you're not allowed to change as a person. You can't make a mistake, or you can't screw up, and if you do, this is gonna be on you forever. But I'm like, really? Like, that's not human nature. Like, human nature, we're messy, we're imperfect, we make mistakes, we do really stupid things. Some of us do things that land us in jail. Some of us that's unfortunately. I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's the life. Nature of life. Mm-hmm. And so it's just like, are you kidding? Like, you're gonna hold, like, there's this bit of like moral relativism where like you're gonna hold these moral standards high, but like, are you perfect? No. So your moral standards perfect? No. So should you shut up? Yes. And it's like, come on, like, what are we doing here? And so that's why, like, for me personally, I'm not one to be very hard on like the condemnation and condemning other people for their actions. I mean, if it's a really shitty action, sure. What you did was awful. Like, whoever you are, wherever you are in this world, you can be whoever, right? Like, right now, the hot topic's Trump. Like, he's just a shitty human being. But like, sure. But I'm not going to sit here and like, hey, I can't judge him like that because I've made my own life mistakes. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so happens that he's the leader of the free world, and here I am. Like,
that's just it, though. Like, everybody has a past. Everybody has their own demons. Everyone's got something. some people's may be way worse than somebody else's, but it's all about perspective, and that we can all still grow from it and change from it. And there's always a positive, like doing that bad deed or dirty deed or whatever the heck it was led me to do this amazing thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's what I think is so, yeah.
I think there's this huge, like, it's like, for instance, when you look at prison recidivism, right? I'm very big on this. I'm very big on like social. Like, I am not a social justice warrior and SJW in any way, shape, or form. I do feel that everybody deserves their rights, of course, to be protected, and every human being deserves to be protected under the laws that protect them. But I also understand that human nature is not going to work we're not going to live in this utopian society. That would more or less be dictatorship. And I don't think Canada or the United States is going to be under dictatorship. And well, U.S. will probably be before Canada is. But I'll say that, like, there's a huge bit of recidivism in prisons because we condemn people for the actions that they do that get them there. We condemn the actions of the things that get them there. But when they come out, the people who are supposed to be their biggest allies to help them not go back. And, it's kind of funny because while they're in there, it's, we need civil rights reforms. We need prison reforms. We need this. We need that. These people shouldn't be in prison. But I'm like, well, this stuff sent people to prison, or this sent them here, or this happened to them. They're now stuck with this awful reality. You're fighting for them, but they come out. What are you doing to help them when they're out?
Yeah,
nothing. A lot of people are very, 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 very quick to scream and preach social justice. But then when the person is coming back and, how do we keep this person out of this particular situation, prison, another run-in with this person or these groups or whatever, if we're trying to keep them from going back, how are we helping them?
Yeah.
And most people don't have that answer. So that's just something that right now is like a hot topic for me. Like, I'm very passionate about it. I'm like, and this goes back to the whole people can change. Like, yeah, sure, people can absolutely change. But most people who are screaming out, we need change, are not helping those people that are trying to, that would benefit from that change.
Yeah.
And it's just really frustrating. And I just think that, like, if you're going to progress anything forward, feminism, LGBTQ rights, civil rights, social justice rights, any of these, women's rights, if you're looking at the entire spectrum of these things that need protection and need rights, you got to rely on some imperfect allies, which means some of the people that you condemned before, you're going to have to teach these people so that they can be a lesson and they can be the beacon to teach the generation before them more similar to them, who they can kind of stop to get to that place, if that makes sense. Right?
I feel like we should cheers to change.
Absolutely.
And being progressive. And yeah.
Being awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Being awesome.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that, like, we're in 2018 where social media is clearly the outlet and everybody's voice is being heard. It's okay. Hear all the voices. In hearing all that, let's search for the truth, and then let's build from there. Let's build on the truth from that point.
Good call. Hey guys, I feel like we got really off topic.
No, I said it was going to get political by the end of this.
You warned us. You warned
I
me.
warned you way before we signed on. I said we're getting political before that thing is done. But we get back on the fitness, please. Let's get back on the fitness.
Okay, can we just talk quickly about the holidays? So we're coming in. Well, we're smack dab in the middle of holiday season right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, Lou, how
Yes.
can we survive this holiday season while still enjoying ourselves? Like,
Okay.
Like my neighbors just dropped off a plate of goodies.
Okay.
By goodies, like chocolate dipped marshmallows and fudge and Rice Krispie squares. I only ate one fudge when I got home, but
Okay.
I wanted to eat 5.
So then, to me, that signals progress, right? I mean, think about it. Because at the end of the day, it's like, all right. First and foremost, this is the biggest time of year for holiday celebrations for about 90% of the world population, right? Christmas and New Year's, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, right? So we have 4 huge holidays in about a 3-week period, 2 to 3 week period. There are parties, there are get-togethers, there are dinners, you name it. It's there. So it's first and foremost, I think the question. I don't think the question is how to get through it. It's the question would more or less be,
How do we not hate ourselves at the end of it?
that would be a very good question. That would be a very good question. I would say this. I would say, and I touch on this a lot actually. It's regardless of the holiday, don't make choices you're going to regret. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be your normal Monday in the middle of freaking June, or it could be Christmas. Don't make it like you are accountable 1,000,000% to yourself. You cannot blame any person on the face of this planet. You are like, there is no scapegoat in anything. Your life is full of choices, right?
Yep.
So if you don't want this dessert because you feel like you're full, like, and I'll get to tactics, but even before we get to the tactics of everything, it's literally just owning your situation, owning where you're at. And like, listen, I don't have kids. Paulette, do you have kids? Rebecca, do you have kids?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Mom, listen, I'll come from the perspective of a kid speaking to my mom. Mom, can I have this? Mom, can I have that? No, Lou, please. All right. And the next thing you know, you break off a piece, and then what does my mom do? She probably has a little bite herself. But she didn't need to have that bite. But she had it. I gave it to my kids. I just had the last little bit. I had the rest. I had the
it doesn't count.
It doesn't count, right? Like, let's say you're having a regular Coke, right? Little Johnny has the bottle of Coke, and then all of a sudden, there's about that much left. It was only spit. Like, that's not the truth. It was more than enough that she didn't. That probably shouldn't have drank it. Like, own it. Own what you're doing, right? I always say that, like, at the end of the day, nobody's holding a gun to your head like, listen, eat it or eat it. You know what I mean? Like, this is not the 1930s. We're not dealing with Al Capone right now. Like, it's the holidays. You're with your family and your friends, and if these are your family and friends, then they should also respect you to begin with, right? So they would expect your wishes.
There's a lot of that pressure too, right? Because people are like, "Oh, but it's Christmas.
Sure.
Just have one. You'll be fine." But if it's taking you like a really long time to get to that point, and you're like in the zone, and I think you did a video on this today, didn't you? Or like, I just saw a video on Facebook.
I did one today.
Is that like, you've done the work to create yourself.
I look at it like this. There's a few different I talked about this earlier. There's a couple lenses to look at it, right? If you're the person who has done everything. Let's say you started last January. Like, let's say your last New Year's resolution, right, was to be better than the year before. If you worked your ass up until this point, you're probably not going to ruin your progress in a matter of a week because you decide to indulge a bit. Because you, at that point, you probably also picked up the habits, and that's what matters most, the habits and the consistency to get you from where you were to where you are currently. But if you're the person who was drinking like a fish in September, and now we're in December, you're still pissed off that you're nowhere near your goal, and you still haven't stopped drinking because of all the holiday parties, and you're still eating like you're about to die tomorrow, then there's nothing, like, there's really, I didn't want to say this in the video. I didn't want to sound harsh. I probably could have been a little bit more forward. But if you're doing all that, then there's really no progress for you to be worried about. If anything, your progress starts when you start saying no.
Yeah.
Like saying no to people and things that are not going to help you in the long run. Right? Yeah. So tell it, like, for instance, Rebecca, your neighbor bought those goodies. Sure. Have your fudge. You could technically still track that. And you could still enjoy it while keeping yourself in check by tracking your food and keeping yourself accountable.
Yeah, you just got to work it in.
And so this is what I would do. Your average piece of fudge is probably an inch by inch square or cube, right? And so what do? You know, like, let's say this is just a chocolate fudge. Go on Google, type in chocolate fudge nutrition, find the average, and then start tracking it. And then, you know, go back to trying to, get the most protein you can in for the day. Go in and, but again, even that is kind of it depends on who you are. If you're obsessive, that might not be a good thing. Yes, but at the same time, you might be, I don't say you're obsessive, but I think you're more of a perfectionist than you're obsessive. Maybe that's kind of flirting with the line.
I'm an all or nothing.
Yeah, but still, to be obsessive is I think there's like a clinical definition of obsessive. And I think you're just one of those people that, like, if you're, again, I'm not giving you a clinical diagnosis, thank God. But I would say that, like, if you're all or nothing, I think it's not bad, but it's also not good either. Like, of course, right? Like, there's no black or white aspect of it. But I'd rather you be like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, and I'm going to do this, versus, oh, man, I messed up. I'm not happy. Now I'm just going to sabotage everything. Like, you don't want to do that, right? Like, you're not going to do that. But that's the thing. Like,
this is what happens. I am the roller coaster. So, like, when I'm in, I'm in. Like, I will not eat, like, anything off my tracking, and, like, so but the minute I screw up, well, shit, the world is over.
Like, but then, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you shouldn't be like that, right?
Like, oh, I got to work on this.
Well, here's the thing. You would have, and I can ask you this, but, like, you're gonna have to ask yourself why you think like that. Why? What is it about that? Like, what is it about the nutrition aspect? Like, are you black and white when it comes to work? Are you black and white when it comes to sports? Are you black and white when it comes to all these other aspects? Or are you just black and white when it comes to food? And if you're black and white when it comes to food, why are you black and white when it comes to food? When you can acknowledge and understand why you're that way with your food, you can then think of it this way. It's like when you get injured, right? Like, people get injured, go to rehab. But if you do all the right things, that's prehab. So if you do all the right things to start, and you start doing things that will help you with your longevity and keep you healthy, you're not you're not going to have to go to rehab anytime soon. So basically right now, what you're trying to do is you're trying to figure out as to why you're so black and white with nutrition. And, again, this could be some deep trauma. I don't know. Like, we've had plenty of conversations.
Here comes another therapy session.
Yeah, I don't know. What I'm saying is, like, we can, this could be a deeper trauma than what you've ever told me. But when you yourself understand why it's so important to you, like why you're so stern and so strict with it,
yeah, then
you can start to process that, maybe deal with whatever that was, but then start understanding, like, look, when it comes to this nutrition thing, I know I need to be consistent, but if I mess up once in a while, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like during the holidays, right? You still have to be able to live your life. You just got to make it work within your plan. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Even then, like I would say this, the holidays, I get it. It's a hard time for you to just, unless you're at home, like for instance, like I'm going to Florida on Friday. So I'll probably drunk off my face. And I get it. Sure. But that's not an everyday occurrence. That's not an every week occurrence.
Yeah.
So I know I'm gonna be with my mom, my dad, and a lot of my family. Just one glass of wine is gonna turn into another one, and this and that. It's gonna be It's gonna be early nights most nights. But I also know when I come back to Toronto that it's gonna be like, literally. I'm actually glad that I just finished it. Like, I only had about that much in here, from today. I'm glad that the bottle's finished because now I don't have to worry about it. Like, I'm not wasting it. I'm not going to pour it down the sink. But when I come back from Florida, when I come back from the holidays, and I'm going to do what my clients do too. Like, I'm going to get I basically was dieting for a bit, kind of tracking, not as religiously as I can do, but I was tracking to keep myself on track. But when I come back, yeah, sure. It's going to be January. Figure give myself about 20 weeks. That gives me January, February, March, April, May. If I start dieting in January, I'll be all right for May and June, and I'll be great for the summertime, which is what I care about, which is about what 90% of people care about. I want to look at from Memorial Day to Labor Day. That's all they care about. That's all they want to do. They just freaking look great for that.
I love winter time.
What?
I said I love winter and baggy clothes.
Listen, I love wintertime because I love wearing sweatpants. I love being warm. I love just cuddling up on the couch. But I'm the anomaly. Everybody else loves summertime and springtime, and that's why I also said, like, after the holiday, really there's nothing going on from January to May. Like, yeah, you got Valentine's Day in there, but that's
spring break.
One night. Even spring break, like, none of us, you and I don't have spring break. We're not in high school anymore. Kids, sure. So we can stay on our grind while the kids are out having their, riding their bikes and playing in the woods. That's what I did when I was younger. Huh?
I just felt old after I said spring break. I was like, what?
Like, we don't get spring break. Kids are not. We don't get spring break
anymore.
Back when I was a young buck.
For real. Like, that's the thing. Like, we're not doing that, right? And I just feel like you start doing this stuff now. Like, you take care of your, it's with resolutioners. Resolutioners, I got to be honest, are the worst. Don't be a resolutioner. Just come up with a solution and stick with it. Because resolution means for real. Resolution, you're redoing a solution. But if you just stick to one solution, you won't have to redo it. So stop being a resolutioner and start doing the thing that you wanted to do to begin with and stick with it. Understand that it's not black and white, that it's going to take time.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something.
Bex is writing it down.
Yeah. I'll tell you this right now. Like, so, Rebecca, Paulette was with me for
You
Paulette
can't
was
read
with me
it.
for a year. Paulette was with me for a year. Jerry's with me, what, 8 months, 6 months, maybe for a year even. But most of the people that I coach, no lie, if I was to do an inventory right now, most of them would be with me longer than 6 months, some of them a year, a couple of them 2 years. I don't do these quick ins and outs, right? Like, once my clients come with me, they stay with me because they understand that it's a long, like that. Well, one, there is that investment between us, but we know that it's going to take a long time. Like I told Paulette, I tell everybody, like, for instance, when you sign up, if you sign up with me, right? If you sign up for my coaching, it's a 3-month commitment, and then a 30-day notice to cancel, which means at most, I mean, at the very minimum, you're coaching, you're with me for 3 months, but most people are staying with me a minimum 6 months, at least a year, because the first 8 weeks, you're trying to figure out your training program, how much can you lift, are you lifting correctly, are you eating correctly, are you measuring correctly? You know, it takes time to learn. Like, this is all a learning curve. This is not me just saying,
right.
yeah,
You're not,
exactly. This is
fixing. You're doing it right.
exactly. So this isn't me like, Paulette, you got to do this, you got to do that, you can't eat this, you have to eat that. This is the portion size. No, you don't want to do this shit on your own, because the day you do leave me, you're gonna have that knowledge. You're gonna know how to take care of yourself. I don't want honestly, I want referrals. I don't like, it's great. I love the fact that I have a lot of people coming back, but I want referrals. I want people to know that like I want one person to reach out to the next person, because that's the impact. It's the ripple effect, right? Like I impact one person, they're gonna tell 2 people, they tell 4 people, they tell 8 people, to 16 to 32. Like, and even if they tell 32 people, well, I need is 2 of those people to then ripple effect to 64.
Yeah.
To ripple effect to freaking 128. Like, you just need those bits. And that's what I work, that's what I thrive on. So like, that's why I'm so big on, that's why I'm so big on the investment of the people, because without the people, I have no job. I'm not paying my bills. So I make sure that I give everything that I can in this.
Well, I can tell all the people out there that if anybody is looking for an online trainer, and again, like Lou said, he's in Toronto and I'm in Bonnyville, Alberta, and we made it work. It's beautiful. It's online. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, to be fair, when I first started training in the gym, like, I was like, I knew that this is what I wanted to do. But then when I realized like I could actually affect people all over, not just in my immediate vicinity, in my 1 mile radius, I was like, holy crap. Like, just being able to, like, I coached somebody in Norway, coached people in the UK, I coached a girl in India, coached a couple people in Australia. Like, that shit is fun. Coached 2 people in Honduras. Like, yeah. And now I'm learning my French and my Spanish a lot better. So like, ideally it'd be nice to like do coaching in those languages, which would be fantastic. Yeah, that's why I'm learning French and Spanish right now, like even more fluently, because I want to be able to coach in those languages, so that I can then, so I can talk to people in the French African countries, France, Quebec, who don't want to speak English because they're just the best. Like, I want to be able to deal with those people, and then with Spanish, Central America, South America, Spain, the Spanish countries that that they freaking colonized. Like, I want to go everywhere. I want to take this global, and I want to know that I want people to know that when they come under me, that they're getting the best experience and best coaching that they ever had, right? So that's what I pride myself on, and I think that without it,
they do get it every time. I am a testament to it. So one more time,
why don't you tell us where people can find you?
Sorry.
Where do they go?
I was,
Tell us one more time.
I was actually grabbing more whiskey. Sorry. I have Irish whiskey this time.
See?
Listen, I don't get to have fun like this. This is actually pretty fun.
Okay, well, you can help us do our draw. I don't know
Yes.
how you can help, but you could encourage the people.
We're doing a giveaway every live.
So,
So,
all right, for your
We're
people, real
drawing
quick.
yesterday's.
Oh,
So this is Irish. So this is Irish whiskey, not Scotch.
Have you ever had an Irish car bomb?
Oh man, when I was in high school,
Oh my
high
god.
school, college, that must have been about 2003 or 4.
My family has those. We have those.
Really?
Oh, I love them. They taste like chocolate.
I don't like any alcohol that tastes like chocolate or coffee at all.
no,
Awful.
me neither.
Oh. Ugh. Have you ever had the Cafe Patron?
No, I saw it though.
I actually finished a bottle of it. I was drinking it on one of our lives the other day.
Are you serious? How? Did you vomit after you were done with the show? Because I would have had it. It's the worst. Cafe Patron. Paulette, listen to me. I love coffee, but if you give me Cafe Patron,
Oh,
you better hold my hair back. You better hold my hair.
Jerry said delicious.
Jerry, look. So I got this as a wedding gift. I was in my buddy's wedding party. I did finish this. This was my birthday gift from another buddy. Hold on, Jerry. I think I might have one more bottle for you.
Okay, well, while you do that, we're gonna do our
Blue?
Oh wait, no. Oh yeah. So I had a friend of
what?
I had a friend of mine go to they gave me some Brugal from Dominican Republic when they went.
Oh, I got that one time when I went to the Dominican.
So good, right?
Kayla,
People think I'm
we're doing
Dominican,
our
but I'm
draw.
not. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Okay, so last night we had game night. It was super fun.
Okay.
And, whoever liked and shared our live. What?
Hold on.
What? What are you doing?
Okay, go.
Are you kidding?
I can't speak out. It was awesome.
Rebecca, for what it's worth, you have really nice teeth.
Right?
Thank you.
I'm actually very jealous of your teeth right now.
I
Okay.
never had
You've never had what?
I never had races.
Braces.
You've never had braces. Your teeth are really white. Your gums are amazing. Wow.
Wow.
I am so jealous of that mouth right now.
So we played this game last night on here.
Are you?
You got to go
Paulette,
back and watch our replay.
Paulette, listen. When I go to the dentist, I'm gonna be like, what? Send me a picture of Rebecca's mouth so my dentist can fix my teeth like hers.
Oh my god, my
Make
girlfriend.
them look like hers.
My girlfriend was on, and she's a dental assistant, and she said she really does.
Wait, who has it? Who said that? Who's the dental
My
assistant?
My friend Tina, she just commented and
See?
said she really does.
Right. Tina knows the deal. See, I'm not going crazy here.
I've had a lot of dental work, but I have not had braces.
Have you ever had veneers? Do you have veneers? No.
No.
I actually asked my dentist about them.
I have all original teeth. They're all original.
Okay, I see you, man. I see you with the real teeth. Go ahead, girl.
Oh my god.
All right,
Okay.
pull up.
Okay, the winner is 4.
Kimber Hill! You won yourself a beautiful personalized Paulette and Becs wine. And I didn't, well, it kind of looks like this, but it's etched.
Yeah, we etched the glasses now, so then you can.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're a big deal.
Oh, you froze, girl. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
you
know.
froze.
I was just telling Lou we're a big deal. I don't know if he knows, but we're a big deal.
No, like you guys are clearly. I want to do this more. Can we be like the Three Musketeers or something?
Yeah, man.
Can we do seasonal, like talking about like the seasons changing and like tips and tricks and fun stuff?
Sure. I will say. So, get your flu shot. I know there might be some anti-vaxxers. I know there might be some anti-vaxxers out there, but get your flu shot. I know some people who've got the flu who didn't get their shot, and here I am. I got mine, and I'm just living large. Oh, by the way, statistics, science. Vaccines don't cause autism.
Oh my God, okay, we're stopping.
All right, sorry, I just had to do that. All right,
Yeah,
guys, I'm so sorry. This is not
viral because of that.
Well, of course we do, because we want science and truth. You're a nurse. I was in nursing school who quit. I did.
Oh, I know that's true, but I didn't do the research.
Oh, don't you worry, I did. Because the United States has shingles again, and it's been eradicated since 1930s, but we're not going to go there. Anyway.
Are you kidding me?
Paulette, I'm sorry. I did not mean to close it. I don't want to start
Hey,
here are our viewers that have stuck with us. We're going to throw this up above the live, but to be entered into the draw for tonight. So it will be drawn tomorrow night. Paulette and I will be live on location. Stay tuned for that beautiful thing.
Location. Where is it going to be?
It's going to be a
surprise.
Really?
We are crafty women, let me tell you.
Tomorrow.
You must like us and share it.
What's that? Sorry.
Come on.
Oh, like and share the live, and you are entered into the draw for tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes.
And let us know your biggest takeaway.
Yes. Your biggest takeaway of tonight will also get you an entry into the draw for tomorrow.
An extra entry.
I haven't even given I feel like I haven't even given
That's because it's easy for us to talk about mindset stuff, but not for everyone are they equipped on the little tips and tricks of mindset.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mind blowing, right?
I guess I gotta be I think I just learned something tonight. I think I should be a little bit more sensitive to some of the people's, I don't want to say I'm sensitive to people's issues, but sure, yeah, when it comes to mindset stuff, I mean, I knew it was something to talk about, but I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
Oh, it's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
For a lot of people.
So let me ask you a question then. So I'm going to ask you both questions then, because listen, somebody like me, okay? Okay. Knowledge is not the issue, okay? Communication and relationship building is not the issue. So you asked me, why is client-coach relationships so important to me, and why, what makes me a good coach? Sure, that all makes me a great coach. Results make me a great coach. But if I'm a coach and I want to train you both, and I didn't know who either of you were, but I knew both of you were after the same goal of whatever your body composition goal is,
yeah,
why would you come to me? What makes me the coach for you, or what makes you want to be you know what, Lou is my guy, considering fitness is a pretty saturated place. So what is it that would make, or what would make you want to be you know what, that's my guy. I trust myself with him.
For me, it was I just got a good vibe from you. And I totally stepped out of my comfort zone and decided to do something. And then I saw that, and I was like,
well, that right there.
I just can't wait
I think it was that. And because you said get your flu shot.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm playing.
Okay. On that note, guys, we are way over.
We're gonna be best friends.
Yes, we are way over an hour. We can chat after this, Lou.
Yeah. Wow, it's 11:30, and at least Eastern. Jesus, that was fun. That went by fast.
I really have to pee. So, without further ado, I think Paulette needs to take us out with some tunes.
Yes, definitely. I want to say another really big thank you to Lou for coming on. We're going to put all of his information at the top of our live. So if you guys want to reach out to him, feel free. You can get at him up there.
Thank you.
We will definitely have you back on, my friend. Thank you so much for all of your.
I'm going to be here without a doubt.
And we're going to catch you on the next one.
Thank you, friend.
It's the happy season of